Howdy everybody, McFloyd here again. Today we're going to talk about fractional reserve banking. Have you heard of it? Most Americans haven't got a clue how it works. But since there is no money, and there hasn't been since early 1900s, 1930, a little earlier, I don't have the specific dates in front of me, but I will get them if you need them. Look up fractional reserve banking, look up House Joint Resolution 192 if you want to. That's an eye-opener. When the American government went bankrupt, this is when the United States became a big name. The Federal Reserve was ushered in, and since then, check this. When we go in to apply for a loan, our signature on the application for the loan, the loan documentation, I guess we could say the closing documents, whether it's an auto loan, a personal loan, personal line of credit, a mortgage on your house, whatever you're buying, the new airplane, the boat, whatever. When you sign that name on the dotted line, you sign your name on that dotted line, what happens is some bankster's minion, some bank employee somewhere, I guess, makes an entry of, let's say I took out $1 million note for a new home. So they go and make an entry, $1 million, note number, blah, blah. They put the details around this note, and now they have an obligation based on your signature that you're going to pay them the amount of the note plus interest. And that now they have automatically created out of thin air $1 million in their bank. And due to fractional reserve banking, a bank with AAA credit can now loan out up to 10 times that $1 million. So now they have $10 million of liquidity, so to speak. And I'm probably using the wrong terms. I don't care. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. These are just the facts. Okay? And if you do your research, you'll find that if you need help, put it in the comments down there below, and we'll follow it up from there. I'm welcoming comments because there's a lot to talk about. Fractional reserve banking. So you create the value is in your signature and your promise to pay. Now the bank has your promise. I'm gonna pay you $1 million for this mortgage, for this so-called deed of some sort. Talk more about that mortgage fraud that's happening across America now, because they're not filing these properly, and the wrong kind of deeds are being handled. Title, a allodial title is what we want. But we don't get that when we buy a piece of property. Even if you shelled out, let's say you bought an acre someplace out in the wood in Montana, and the guy wanted $5,000, and you went up there with $5,001 bills or 50 hundreds, and handed it to him, went down to the county recorders. Guess what? You're not going to get a allodial title to that land. You're going to get some note, some title, and frankly, at this moment, I can't remember what it's called because I got too many other things on my mind. That's not the subject. But you don't get the title to the land, so therefore you still have to pay rent to the state in the form of taxes. And that's a whole other issue for another day, but the fractional reserve banking is true. There is no money. All the changes are digits on some ledger, a digital ledger someplace that represents a promise to pay. That enriches the bank. Now they have 10 times or 6 times if they don't have good credit ratings. They can go out and loan 6 times that amount. It's scary, and Americans don't know what we have here. What we have here is smoke and mirrors. It's a dog and pony show up there on the television, radio. I was listening to a supposedly right-wing Christian show the other day, and God, the propaganda they were feeding us listening. The problem is once the bell has been rung, you can't unring it, and the bell was rung in me back in 1999 or so. My son was 3 years old, and I realized if I'm a slave, how heavy are my son's chains going to be when he grows up? I've got to do something. Do something. Do something. Tell your friends to wake up and do something. Look, call your congressman, get involved, make some comments here. If you object, fine, tell me what your problem is. What you think I'm full of whatever, that's fine. We'll start getting specific with citations in law. These are introductory videos. I'm new at this, but I had to do something. People don't want to hear this locally. My friends are tired of hearing it. They call the persona, this persona, they call me that guy. Oh, here's that guy again. He's talking about the constitutionality. Oh, he's talking about his rights. Oh, he's talking about the thieving, lying feds and the banksters and the fraud that's going on. But you know what? we gotta get this out in the open, or we're all gonna die slaves. So adios. See you next time.